Hi guys, this is Alexis from Family Reviews. I'm the mom of the Destiny and Jake. So lately we've been going through a lot of tough times. This is gonna be pretty blunt and honest, so if you're not ready for something like that, don't watch this particular video. So we were out west in Grand Prairie, Alberta, when we first started this channel, so that family and friends from in Ontario could talk to us and communicate with us through watching us and watching the kids grow up. The move out west was really hard on all of us, more the kids than anything else. It was an extreme adjustment from going to a large city, almost 500,000 people, to about 65,000 people, and you're way up north. There's not many activities for kids in general, unless you have little ones. Not so much for high schoolers. Unfortunately, a lot of the parents out there work a lot of long, rough hours. It's an oil city, so the days and hours of parents working, and then usually with a stay-at-home mom, not always, but most of the time with a stay-at-home mom, it makes it difficult, especially when you're adding 5-6 kids, which is common out there. But as you're adding more kids, the stress level is already high. Parents, not all of them, but some of them self-medicate with drugs and alcohol. Not a very good influence on children, which then leads to the teenagers then having issues because they grow up watching their parents deal with it. Long hours at work. The only way to deal with life is through drugs and alcohol. Or potential suicide attempts from kids. Some of them are wanting attention from their parents by doing it. Most are just doing it because they don't know how else to cope with the situation that they're put in. A lot of them come from broken homes, mixed families, a mom with a stepdad, a dad with the stepmom, children from different relationships, then coming together as one. Not always a great thing for kids to grow up in. Not that all kids were bad out there, but it was very stressful, and that's what Destiny made a lot of friends with, and Alicia at the time made a lot of friends with, were kids that had those types of issues. A lot of the kids came from decent money, coming in through the house. Some were extremely poor. There's not a lot of median or middle area for it's either high income or low income. There's not much in between there. Again, with not a lot of activities to do, kids don't know what to do with themselves, and there's no teenage hangout area for them to, go hang out with other kids or go play video games or whatever they don't necessarily have at home. There's no YMCA. Trying to think of, there's no Boys and Girls Club. They only have one place where you can go and you can hang out, play basketball. I think there was also racquetball court or swimming. For example, our family, Dad's working, I was recovering from a car accident, a pretty bad one, doing lots of physiotherapy, so lots of appointments, eventually going back to school once I felt that, I was healing as best that I could. So it was a lot of pressure on Destiny, thinking that she then had to become the parent. Completely understand where she was coming from with that. But that wasn't the case, even though she felt that that was something that she had to do. Since moving back to Ontario to be closer to family and friends, just to get the kids out of that situation, and Destiny starting high school, Destiny does not really like being in social situations, so making friends is difficult for her. She sliced herself in grade 7. That's when it all started. So that was really rough to find out, especially through the school system. And then they didn't really have any support for her there. There was one person at the whole school that took care of the entire city. Came in 2 to 3 times a week. There's not a whole lot of options for counseling, or that I could find. And not growing up there, it's hard to get a family doctor, and the doctors out there are interesting. That's the easiest way to put it. They're not bad. They're definitely not the best. Whereas in a bigger metropolis city, you can usually find the best in their field, or at least better than what we had out there as an option. So again, lack of community support and not having a family doctor hurts you no matter where you are. So we decided as a family that we were going to come back to Ontario to be closer to family and for a job, which was an added bonus, and that really propelled us to find a good place to live. Friends of ours that we met through college, when my husband went back and got a new career after his injury, it did open things up. But now that we're back, more stresses are happening. Poor Destiny had one of her really good close friends pass away recently from a childhood illness. So Destiny's been dealing with a lot of stresses. Again, a second move. Still close to family, but not as close as what she would have wanted if she would have had her input, which she didn't. So I just want to stress how important it is to have an open communication with your kids, especially as they're getting older. For all the parents out there, and for all the high schoolers out there, understand that we as parents think that we're doing what's best for you, and we are trying so hard to understand where you guys are coming from. It's not the same as when we, your parents, were once your age, and trust me, we all were. Social media plays a huge role in everything that you guys do. You guys don't post about shitty parts in your life. You guys only post about the best parts in your life. Not crazy about social media. Not into all that different stuff myself. My daughter calls me an oldie because I have a Facebook account, and I just signed up for Twitter because that's how their schools communicate a lot of their stuff for like snow days and things like that. I don't care to be on it. I don't want to learn how to use the software, and it's just because I would rather go out there and live my life rather than be stuck attached to my phone. And I know that that's how we raised you guys. So part of that onus is on us as your parents by allowing the continuation of updates, new technology to rule our lives in a different respect than your own. But you guys really need to get out there and live. Understand what it's like to be outside, play games, stay out until the lights go dark or the lights come on and it goes dark outside. That's how most of us as your parents were raised. We had to come in when the street lights came on. And dinner was always at the same time every single day, and we had to do family dinners at the kitchen table. That's how it works. Unfortunately, more parents like myself, it's not that we do it on purpose, but we've gotten out of the habit of doing more fun things outside the house, like taking guys to the beach, or, taking guys swimming, or something that you guys actually want to do. And then as you guys become teenagers, you guys want to do and spend time with your parents less, which sometimes that makes it more difficult because we want you guys to be out, do more things, but we don't know how to ask you to participate. And forcing you guys to do it only makes you hate us even more. And you guys don't think that we understand, but we do. So Destiny has now attempted to commit suicide earlier this week. So it's been really tough having her in the hospital away from me for 4 days now, and it's an emotional roller coaster ride for myself as well. The first time she went in there, and considering I'm the one who found her outside, bleeding from her wrist, that was really hard. Just saying, it's not the easiest thing to see your kid, and instead of putting your mom boots on, you gotta just go, okay, one tiny step at a time, breathe. She slit her wrists. I can't take back what she did or the actions. It was just taking off the hood of her sweater, checking her pulse to make sure that she was still alive. And when I felt the pulse, I was like, oh my god, thank goodness she's still alive. And like a whole different part just comes to you as a parent, because then you're like, crap, do I call 911? Do I just throw you in a car? Like, I don't know how to get you moving. So I just sat back and took another deep breath, and then I pulled her head back ever so slightly to find out whether her eyes were dilated, how much blood has she lost. I don't know. I'm already freaking out about the fact that she's losing blood. I'm not concentrating on how deep the cuts are, just the fact that there was a whole bunch of cuts. And it's a lot to take in. And I'm glad that I found her and not her brother, because I think that would have made the situation about 1,000,000 times worse. And like, her brother was just getting up for school, just starting to get ready, and he's inside and he's hearing me yell at his sister to like, get up, come on, we gotta go, I'm taking you to the hospital. I don't care whether or not you want to go, because at this point she's finally starting to talk to me, and she's like, I don't want to go. And I'm like, don't care. You sliced your wrist, there's something wrong, we need to get it fixed, and I don't know how to fix you. So I rushed her to the hospital. Her brother went to school, thank goodness, by himself. Not that he hasn't done it before. I only work part-time, but I'm trying to run a home business all at the same time. Their dad's working back out west. I'm here by myself, and it feels like a never-ending battle. Jake was a girl when he was born, and we're in the midst of his transitioning, and so it's just like, we just moved back. Jake decides to transition into being a boy, which I'm completely okay with, but making sure that he gets the counseling he needs, and he gets the therapy that he requires to, take the next steps if that's what he wants. Making sure that we're doing it slowly to make sure that that is what he really wants. I'm not saying that kids go back and decide not to be their gender that they've all of a sudden decided to be. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being trans. It's just, as a parent to other children, it's hard to be like, okay, I can only focus on you. I would love to take all of my attention and focus it on one of my kids. Unfortunately, that's not how reality works, and I can't just be like, hey dad, guess what? It's your turn to take the oldest one and do something. I need to get the little one fixed. I'm by myself. There's no possible way. So understand that we as your parents love all of you to pieces. Boy, girl, in transition, out of transition. We don't care. We honestly do not care, as long as you guys are 100% happy. Clearly Destiny's not happy, and I was getting her the help that she required. Unfortunately, thousands of other kids are in the same boat as Destiny, and they feel like they have to end their life, because life is a lot. You're in grade 9. High school is nothing like elementary school, and they don't prepare you for high school. And then on top of all of that, your best friend, or one of your best friend, passes away, You're not in the same city. You haven't been able to see him because I asked her if she wanted to go, and she couldn't because he was in a secluded area. And I think for her, not being able to see him and not being able to say goodbye was the hardest part for her. Plus, you have exams coming up because it's like a week before exams. The week exam started is when he was getting buried, and just a snowball effect. And I get it, life is super stressful, but when you just start tacking those things on and you haven't dealt with the main issue that you have, and then you're just snowballing another problem on. So you're already got like a little itty bitty problem, and then you're just adding a bigger snowball to it, and then a bigger one, and then you're just like, by the time the avalanche happens, it's already too late. And Destiny's at her avalanche part. And it's been extremely stressful with her being in the hospital, not being near her, or, I mean, I've been able to see her, but I have to watch what I say, I have to watch how I act, I have to be strong for her when I'm a complete and total wreck. So it's hard. And attempted suicide or even full-blown suicide, you guys aren't just hurting yourselves, you guys are hurting your parents, you guys are hurting your siblings, and I understand that it's a potential escape route, and at the time it seems like the best thing for you guys to do because you haven't asked for the help that you guys need. But we as your parents then feel like we failed you, and that it's all the onus is on us. If I could have taken away Destiny's pain of her friend dying, I would have. Unfortunately, if I were to take away her pain and not let her live through this and getting her the help that she requires to help her get through this, it's not going to fix her later on when she becomes an adult, and she is going to have to deal with these issues on her own. And the help isn't necessarily going to be there as an adult. You yourself have to go and find it. You have to ask for it. When you're a kid, you tell your parents, and then your parents help you through it. When you're an adult, you have to do this stuff all on your own. It doesn't matter whether you're 18 or whether you're 20, whether you're living at home or out of the house. It doesn't matter. As soon as you become an adult, you're just supposed to know what to do. That's what society needs to teach our kids in high school. The classroom is not a setting where it teaches you how to write a check, how to balance a checkbook, the fact that you have to understand how money works. We as your parents have failed many times before you guys get to see us grown up doing the super boring things. We used to have fun. We used to have a lot of fun. Some more than others. And don't kid yourself. We still have that party animal within us, and we would love to just like let loose and, blow the budget and, have a grand old time. But that's not how life works. Unfortunately, we still have to have a job, because the job, you have to have money to survive. I don't care who you are, I don't care how poor you are, you still have to have money. Because in order for you to have a roof over your head and food in your stomach, you need to have money to pay for those things. And without learning the skills on how to obtain the money and keep it and how to budget, you don't understand how that works. And I understand that parents need to have an input and that we need to, teach our kids those things. But if the school system and the parents could work together and cooperate and make high school about the classes, but also a class about actual life outside of high school, would then prepare our children for the life that they're going to be living by the time they're 18 and are off to college. And then maybe our kids would understand that, college is expensive. When you're in grade 9, start looking up the colleges that you want based on the career choice that you want at that moment. Then figure out, are you going to live on campus? Are you going to live off campus? Are you going to get a meal card? Or are you going to cook your own food? What kind of food are you going to have to afford? Are you going to have a car, or are you going to go on with your bus pass? Because your bus pass is usually included in your school fees. Then if you live off of the thing, how many roommates are you going to have? Are you going to have cable? Are you going to have internet? Are you going to have home phone? Or are you just going to have your cell phone? These are all bills that you're going to have to pay. And unfortunately, OSAP, or whatever equivalent, only gives you so much. And we as your parents are not a bank, and we worked really hard for whatever small amount of money that we have once we pay for all of your stuff, like the clothes on your back and the roof over your head and the food in your tummies. All of that stuff costs a crap load of money, and then you're adding your phone bill on top of it. So we as parents need to do a job. You as kids also have to do a job. And you guys think that being an adult is easy, you earn money, and then you can spend it. Unfortunately, we are just as worried about things as you, no matter how much money we have. We still have the roof over our heads to pay for, a house with a mortgage, and then there's gas bills, water bills, hydro bills, food bills, gas bills for your car, insurance that you have to pay for the house and the car, and then there's like maintenance for the car, getting your driver's license renewed every 5 years. Then you have to make sure that you take your car in Ontario, we have an e-test. You got to get that done every 2 years once your car is over 7 years old. It's now free because we pay for it with our taxes, but at one point it was an extra $30 out of your pocket, plus booking the appointment at the dealership. It's always plus. So there's added responsibility on top of a parent. Then when you add kids to the mix, it becomes even more expensive, because then you're worrying about diapers, formula, toys, clothes for the kids when they're little. Great, some of that stuff that you can get used. As your kid gets older, they don't want used stuff. They want the brand new, they want the latest and greatest thing. Unfortunately, there's only so much money to go around. Some of us can afford to give our kids like the latest and greatest cell phones with super expensive bills. I don't know why your kid needs all these fandangled things, whether or not other kids have them. I don't know. Personal preference for parents and their kids and what they're willing to give them. And then we have to think about college. Then we have to think about, well, are they going to live at home when they go to college? Are they going to go far away to college because that's what their career choice is going to take them? These are all things that your parents are constantly thinking about. So we already have the stress of work, our own personal relationships with your other parent, whether it's a mother or father, doesn't matter. Same sex, opposite, heterosexual, homosexual relationships, doesn't matter. It's still their own personal relationships. Their relationship with their kids, making sure their kids are taken care of, is just like constantly things that we're having to think about and focus on, and figuring out what to focus on. And as you guys get older, the changes and needs and wants and desires of our kids change, and some of us are a little slower about picking these things up. Some of us have had great parents. Some of us have not been so lucky to have great parents. Some people don't even know who the heck their parents are and lived in group homes or whatever, because family situations just dictated that was what was going to happen to them. So just remember that even if you're a teenager, your parents were in your boat once upon a time, and we are trying to do our best. So give us some slack, talk to us, please. We don't care if you decide you want to drink responsibly. Parents are different and they'll tell you different things. Drinking responsibly, don't do drugs. We're not just telling you that for the good of your health. Most drugs are not good for you, from whether they're prescribed or not prescribed. Some are naturally grown things, some are not. Most of them are chemically made, and nowadays a lot of that stuff is laced with fentanyl. And fentanyl kills a crap load of people every single day. Parents die, young kids die, older kids die, adolescents die. Like, fentanyl kills. It doesn't care how old you are. It doesn't care whether you're a baby or whether you're an adult. It doesn't care if you're 70. It doesn't care if you're 4. It doesn't even care if you're in your parents' stomach. It really doesn't give a crap how old you are. It's gonna kill you. Which is why we as your parents are telling you don't do drugs. We're not just saying it because we want to be a downer and we want to take the fun away from being a kid. There are many more important things in your life that you need to worry about besides doing drugs. I understand that the illusion of drugs and alcohol is cool, but they aren't. I'm telling you from personal experience, done both, not thrilled about either one of them. But since my injury, I do have to take medication. I hate taking medication, but if you're on medication, you're on it for a reason, and you need to take it every day as prescribed by your doctor. So just take care of yourselves, and there's probably going to be another couple of videos about all this real life stuff. I'm hoping that other people enjoy watching it, and hopefully parents take something away from this, kids take something away from this, and just understand that we are all trying our best, young and old, to live the best life that we can live. And mental illness is definitely nothing to gawk about. It's just a point in life where you just say, I need help, and there's just different ways of asking for it. I'm proud that my daughter has finally, now that she's in the hospital, has decided that she wants to be there. She knows she needs to be there. And it doesn't make her weak. It makes her extremely strong. And she's going to be the kid that I know that she is. So just understand that your parents are there for you no matter what. And we love you. And as an adult, if your parents are still around, tell them you love them. Spend time with them. Because none of us last on this planet forever. And instead of hating each other for religious beliefs or what the color of your skin, just stop. We all need to care for each other. It takes a village to raise a child. It really, really does. And the more support we have, the better our kids turn out. So don't be afraid to ask for the help. Don't look down on different people, and it doesn't matter whether you're rich or you're poor as snot. The help is still out there for you, and we're all going through the same types of stuff, just in different varieties and different strengths and weaknesses that each of us has. Lean on one another. Figure it out. And I love each and every person. I don't care whether you're older, whether you're younger, whether you're trans, whether you're black, whether you're white, or anything in between. I love each and every single person that's on this planet. And I don't care if people are disrespectful of that or hate it. You're not hurting my feelings by telling me, oh, I need to be this way or that way. There's no religious belief system behind my back. I don't believe in organized religion in any one shape or form. I believe that all religion is absolutely beautiful, and you have every right to believe in whatever you want, however you deal with that. And all the more power to you. And for the people that don't believe in anything, great. Stop hating on each other. It doesn't matter. We're all human beings, and we all need to be loved and supported by one another. Alright, well, it's almost half an hour. Thanks for listening. Bye.